Welcome to Let Freedom Ring. My guest this week, Scott Nightingale. Scott, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dan.
Hey,
Pleasure.
good to see you. So we're going to get to know you just a little bit. So where did you grow up and where are you from?
Born and raised for 10 years in Derry, New Hampshire, and then moved to Nashua, where I met you and a bunch of other people after that, and stayed there for a majority of my life, yeah.
Awesome. So then was that in like middle school when you moved to Nashua?
Yeah, I got into middle school in Derry, but then when I moved to Nashua, you guys still had 6th grade in elementary school.
Yep.
So therefore, I was in one more year of elementary school.
Yeah. I'm actually glad because I think middle school should be 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah.
You know, by 6th grade, you don't want to be sitting in a classroom all day.
No, not at all.
What's one thing that everybody should know about you?
I love coaching youth wrestling and football. Absolutely love it. Can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things.
No, I figured you'd be a good fit for that. Now, how long have you been? Now you've been coaching for a couple of years now.
4 years now.
4 years?
4 years at the Boys and Girls Club.
Okay. Yeah, I do miss coaching. That's one thing that
I've been trying to get you back.
Yeah, maybe at some point it's tough. My work schedule's tough now.
I know.
When you work in a school like I used to do, it was easy.
Yeah, because you're at Penn Truck and then Elm Street, right?
I coached at Fairgrounds with Rick Loria for 2 years. Then I think I was head coach of Hudson Memorial for 2 years, and then Elm Street for 3. Went out on top, won the national championship. National. I'm sorry, the Nashua championship.
Oh, the city championship?
City championship.
Nice.
My last year there.
I think Elm Street has taken the city championship every year.
Yeah, well, there was 1 year we tied with Nashua Catholic, but no one even gave us a shot. So I got the kids going that year with a good Tom Brady-esque pump-up pep talk.
Perfect.
Now, here's a question, sticking to the theme of the show, and this means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Mm-hmm. What does it mean to you to be an American?
For me, honestly, just everybody mind your own business, do your thing, do what makes you happy. Don't bother your neighbor if you don't like what they're doing. Honestly, unless it's harming people, innocent people, or really just low-life stuff, just let them be.
Yeah.
Just let them be.
No, I agree, and I think a lot of times, we talk about this a lot on the show, social media kind of makes that divide even worse.
Terrible.
And we'll talk about that a little bit. But no, good answer. All right, so current events. Joe Biden looking to be the 46th president of the United States. And were you surprised by that, or?
Honestly, I didn't really pay too much attention to it. Yeah. I'm not like the die-hard politics or anything like that. So, am I surprised? No, not really, but do I really care?
Well, that kind of goes to the next question. Do you think anything will change?
I think there's going to be some economical changes, but honestly, this country is just run by a larger group of people, not one person. Yeah,
no, I agree. And I think it's a lot of things that people aren't talking about is that, it still seems like the Republicans have control of the Senate. Yeah. Not a lot the president can do when that happens, obviously, executive orders and stuff, and I guess you can veto, but I guess the change I think is just some of the rhetoric will maybe die down a little bit because President Trump loves his Twitter.
Oh, my God. I hated that.
Yeah. So
I think no president should have Twitter.
Yeah. You're
supposed to be running a country. You shouldn't be blabbing nonsense on social media.
Yeah, I agree. And it's his Twitter feed is something wild.
Oh yeah.
Now, also, I saw Dr. Fauci was talking with, I believe it was ABC today, because people are starting to be like, the cases are going up again quite a bit.
Well, I expect that because what time of year are we getting into?
Flu season. Yep. No, I agree. Well, they asked him the question, and they asked if he thinks there needs to be a national lockdown. And Fauci said no. Do you agree with that? Do you think a lockdown would?
Honestly,
really?
On my personal experience, being close contact with it,
yeah,
I'm not like it. Really isn't that scaresome to me.
Yeah,
I've came and people direct contact with it, and I never got it. My son never got it.
Yeah, and I'm assuming take the precautions that you need to take and things like that.
I did, yeah, for a while, and then I just kind of went up north and stayed there on my free time.
Yeah. No, understandable. I don't want a national lockdown, honestly, myself.
No, that's going to cripple small business.
That's the big thing.
Cripple small
that
business.
A lot of people, when they want
like
that.
Grand Buffet, gone.
What?
Yes.
That's,
Grand Buffet.
Wow. I mean, I spent a lot of years saying
So
karaoke there.
So
probably with you a couple
There has been a handful of times with me there.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, I just found that out today. Grand Buffet shut the doors.
Wow. Well, I mean, you looked at all the ones in Boston that closed, and that's, I think a lot of people are missing that. Is yes, we don't want anybody to die.
No.
But we also don't want, like, I don't want to see people's livelihoods totally destroyed either.
Was it the Country Tavern or the place on Amherst Street? Nashville.
Oh, I don't know. Did they go out?
Yeah, it's like a family thing that was like over 20 years old or something like that. Run, gone.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you know, Fat Cats, ever heard of that?
Yep.
So I've been watching their Facebook feed, and I guess there's been just a lot of accusations against them, where someone went to like the New Hampshire Attorney General or something along the lines and reported them, and the owner's like fighting back on social media saying, "Stop accusing us of stuff we're not doing."
Yeah.
And it's just. I don't want to see anybody out of work.
No. I like the small business, support small business, like that's the backbone of America. It's your small business, your hard workers. That big corporations, they don't care about really anybody except for their pockets.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you know, if you aren't comfortable going into a restaurant, if you want to order out, support these people. You know, because if everything's gone by the time we get rid of Corona or whatever, it ain't gonna be happy.
No,
you know,
it's gonna be.
If anything ever happens in Nashville Garden, I'll lose it. Yeah,
I was having a discussion today about the Nashville Garden, just how amazing their sandwiches are.
Yeah,
so.
Staple of Nashville.
It really is one of those things.
You know, what do you think we could do better to slow down the spread?
I can't really honestly answer that question. I mean,
I know it's a tough one.
It's some people just are affected by it more than others. I mean, every person's different. Every person's anatomy and immune system is completely different. Like I said, I came in close contact with somebody that actually tested positive, never contracted it. They didn't even have symptoms really of it.
Really?
Nothing really happened.
I agree. It is hard. I don't mind doing, like, I will say for me personally, I don't mind doing the basics. Yeah. Wearing a mask.
Yeah, like
washing your hands.
Yeah, throwing a mask or whenever it's required, whatever. That's no big deal. But if I'm out inside and enjoying fresh air, I don't want to be yelled at for not wearing one.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot what Dr. Fauci was saying today. He's like, we just got to do the basics, and there are people that just don't want to do the basics.
Yeah.
You know, and it's tough. I mean, we got the Turkey Bowl coming up. We're gonna have a good number of people there.
This is my first Turkey Bowl.
Oh, is this your first?
This is my
coming
first.
to number 11. All right.
Because I never I didn't know about it till like the day after or whatever like that. Never got a phone call for it. I've talked to LaMonday about it constantly.
Yeah, he's not coming this year. I guess he has a birthday party or something, or something for his daughter.
Yeah.
But it should be fun, and I'll probably throw out there. It's a flag football tournament. We do a canned food drive. I may throw out to people, when you're on the sidelines, I'm not going to make you wear a mask, but I'll suggest when you're on the sideline, I know we're still outside. I don't really do that a lot at softball, in all honesty, but we're going to have a good amount of people there.
Yeah.
So anything we can do, and we're doing it after Thanksgiving. Go have dinner with your grandparents and not worry about it, or your parents, because mine are a little bit older now at this point.
No, all of our parents are getting old now.
Yeah.
But that in return, we're getting old now.
Yeah, that is true. Closer to 40 than I am 30 at this point.
Yeah, I'm still close to 30, so that's a good thing.
Now, Fauci also has been saying the vaccine is almost about 90% ready.
Okay.
They feel like if the people that, and I don't know, you see all these different things, and some people are like, I'll never do it. Because I've never had a flu shot, in all honesty.
I've never had a flu shot.
I never have. But he says about 90%, you maybe have it. It's going to take the year 2021 to have everybody. Does that give you any like, sort of like this is coming to, we could get to the end of this, or?
No, not really.
No.
No, it's just pretty much. I'm chalking this up as a flu. Like it's just the flu. Like some people are gonna get it. Some people are gonna get the flu shot. Some people are gonna get sick. Some people aren't. Yeah. It's just like I said, every person's different. Every immune system is different. Do you think it'll be just because I said this on earlier episodes of the show way back before we've learned a lot about it since March. You think it's just going to be here to stay, kind of like the other how we have a season of it? Probably. Yeah. It's like I said, like a flu. It's going to be just like it. Just we have COVID season. Yeah. Instead of flu season. And you wonder if the numbers of people that pass away from it do drop. I wonder if they could drop over the years. I don't know. Maybe. Hopefully. I mean, I haven't really heard much about younger people unless they are have severe respiratory problems. That's all I've heard. But I also don't really dive too much into the research of it. So yeah, no, understandable. It's just a very weird time that we're in. Yeah, very weird time. But I will say this, with COVID happening, canceling all sports and everything over the summer, and I had a great summer. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I just was I can't go anywhere. I can't go to the bars. I can't really do much. So I was let's go to the mountains. Yeah. And all I did was fish. Yep. No, that's, I didn't hike a lot this year. I was a big hike. I did all the 40. But there's something about being up north that is just. It's amazing. It's just awesome. Do you know where Errol, New Hampshire is? No. Yeah, it's 3 hours and 15 minutes. It's north. Pittsburgh area? Almost Pittsburgh. Okay. Just below Pittsburgh. And that's where my grandfather built the lake house. So me and my dad have been going up. I've went up 23 times this year. Okay. It's amazing. Yeah, it's probably a good place to be. You ain't going to get sick up there. Nope. 0 cases. So, that's going to take us into politics. President Trump... Yeah, obviously he doesn't want to concede. That's kind of who he is, always has been. Mm-hmm. But I think he's got to be thinking about reality. Yep. But there's the rumors within the administration that he will have his own network. Would you be surprised about that? No. No. Guy's a businessman. He's going to take anything he can to make money. Yeah, and I think he... someone brought this up to me the other day. Because, you have your people that vote Republican. Mm-hmm. And they voted for Trump, and some didn't. But I normally do vote Republican. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nope. But he also has that hardcore base of people that you can't say anything about him without it being like, no, you don't understand. They're going to buy. They'll buy into that. Mm-hmm. Yes, they are. You got extremes in both sides. Yes. And then you got me and you, normal friends. I don't hate you because you voted blue. You don't hate me because I voted red. Yeah, it's that simple. It's that simple. That's what people need to do. No, I agree, and you're right. I think he will make some money off it. He will, and it's not, and that could be what happens with the future of that family is because his Twitter today was attacking Fox News pretty much all day, I think, and Fox News has had a stranglehold on conservative news. Since we've been alive, really. So it'd be very interesting to see what happens there. What do you believe causes our divide to be the way it is? Social media. Yeah. That's social media. Because before everybody had their computers in their hand. Yeah. What were we doing? We're probably out, and if you wanted to post something on Facebook, you had to go to a laptop. Not even that, but before Facebook, what were we doing when we were junior high, not even high school? We were literally just at that time frame, the only cell phone you had was to make a phone call. Yep. And that was it. You didn't have your social media and all that stuff. We might have had AOL AIM. Mm-hmm. Asked out my first girlfriend on that. Yep. So you got a quick little text. You got an hour after homework before dinner to, get on your AOL, blah, blah, blah. But other than that, people just went out and socialized face to face. Yeah. That's where we need to go back. Well, I've told people this before, and this is a big reason why I love my show. I mean, they talk about a lot of different topics on here, but I've had my best conversations, especially when it comes to politics, like this, not like this. Yeah, no. Because you get that. I don't even bother discussing. I made a meme, my own personal meme, the other day when the whole thing was everybody was bitching on Facebook, and I took the Happy Gilmore picture, and I did see that. Instead of saying gold jacket, green jacket, who gives a beat. Yeah. It said red state, blue state. Who gives a beat?
And I saw it. People started going at you about that. You're like, I'm not even picking a side here. You know, it is. You're right. Social media, I do think, causes a lot of problems. As much as I like it, but it's like, why can't we just have fun with it like it should be?
Right. How it originally started was just post pictures of people that you can't see face to face.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, my cousin lives in Colorado. Here you go.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. You can keep in contact. Now it's like you're talking to your neighbor that's 2 houses over on social media. It's like, just go say hi.
Yeah. It definitely did evolve because when I first had it, probably I think 2005.
It was a college thing.
Yeah, and it wasn't this political mess. Yeah. And then as it grew, all of a sudden, like, I guess that's just how people are. Eventually they just want to get political and it's good, I would tell anybody it's good to have real dialogue, not through a website.
Yep.
Or
do your own personal research and thinking and evaluating on things before, not just get fed what everybody else is saying.
I did see someone also post, go vote and shut the blank up. Yeah. Just like, that's all you got to do.
That's it.
So anyways, the divide in the country is it's interesting. It's always been there. I think we see it more.
It's always going to be there.
Yeah.
There's always going to be something, whether it's a political campaign, whether it's movements, whether it's Red Sox, Yankees.
Yeah.
There's always going to be something. It's a rivalry. It's a pissing match. It's whatever. People are going to bicker. Yeah.
It's like a human trait almost that we just have.
Almost primal.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We'll find something to argue about. Well, that kind of brings us into sports, which you do see a lot of Patriot fans arguing with each other. I had posted something the other day. Yep. Simple. Hey, we won. It was a picture of Cam Newton.
How many people backlash?
And it started an argument between Patriot fans itself. And I'm watching the comments, and people are just doing the popcorn gifs, Yep. Patriots are 3-5. How are you feeling about what's going on with the team right now?
Honestly, I feel like the coaching needs to be stepped up a little bit. Not as Bill Belichick himself, because I think he's just doing anything he can to get the best guys in the best positions at the best times. But I feel they're just not utilizing Cam as much. They're trying to get him to throw more, which he's not used to that. He's a run guy, and quick, short routes, not really a deep threat.
Yeah.
Like Tom was for 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years.
Yeah. So that's something this year is a build year.
Yeah.
That's what I look at. I wasn't expecting phenomenal outcome. I wasn't expecting a playoff contingency. It's a build year.
Yeah.
We got a brand new quarterback. He's not new, but new quarterback to the team, new to the Patriots way, as we say.
And we had the most opt-outs in the NFL due to COVID. A lot on the defense, too.
Because that defense took a big hit.
Well, they're making Joe Flacco look like Joe Flacco from 7 years ago.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Super Bowl contender Joe Flacco.
Yeah. It was wild.
But on the other side of that, you say Joe Flacco 7 years ago, Tom Brady ain't looking too bad over in Tampa Bay, except for the last game.
Yeah, I think and I've said this on the show a couple times. I bought my Buccaneers Brady jersey because I want to support him, but as we started doing bad, I started getting to I don't know if I can root for him anymore. Like I thought if we were fine, I'd be
I was in the supermarket wearing my Tampa Bay Buccaneers hoodie, but I've also been cheering on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers since I was a kid because I have family that's been born and raised in Tampa.
Sure.
My uncle still lives in Tampa. And so I've always loved the Buccaneers because my older brother, he's diehard Bucs fan, didn't really care for the Pats. Me being born up here, diehard New England fan, but I did enjoy my older brother.
I think you can have multiple teams you kind of like,
So I'm like, oh, well, the only time they'll meet Super Bowl, so that'd be cool. I always cheered on both. And I was wearing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hoodie, and they're like, oh, what, did you get that because Tom Brady? And I'm like, no, honestly, I didn't. I'm like, I like Tampa Bay. They're like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, it goes with my Mike Allstott jersey. And they're like, who? And I'm like, now you can't even talk.
Yeah, you didn't know who that was. Then, the Bucs won the Super Bowl in our
2002.
2003 Super Bowl, 2002 season. Mm-hmm. I think I was a senior in high school. So, you get a lot of that. They're like, you can't root for a lot of the non-Patriot fans are like so bitter. I
even had I made a comment on somebody else's page about the Patriots, and they're like, "Oh, you can't say you're a true Patriots fan if you like Tampa Bay as well. You're not a real fan." I'm like, "Oh, really? I'm not? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How about I'm just a football fan?"
Yeah. Listen, I'm always going to root for the Boston, New England teams over anybody.
Of course.
Tom Brady right now is like that ex-girlfriend where my life's, and I've said this on Facebook, my life is in turmoil right now. She's left me and she's doing awesome. That's how it feels, So watch him get beat up by the Saints. Part of me was like, okay.
But at the same time, we're going, like, we had 20 phenomenal years.
Yeah. It's hard.
Tampa Bay has not. They're starting to have a decent year again. The last time we had a good year. Actually, even the year before, they had, what was it? Winston had the most throwing yards out of all the quarterbacks.
And I think but he also had the most interceptions or something.
But the most interceptions. Yeah. So therefore, it's like they have potential. They've always had the receiver core. Just.
What did you think of Jameis Winston Sunday night? The Saints blow out the Bucs. Mm. And he was like over the top celebrating. There's all these videos. I guess he does the W thing where he eats the whatever. It's like you got an A on a group project that you did nothing on.
Exactly. Did he? I barely saw him.
I think he got in probably at the end.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything. Obviously their Saints blew the doors off of the Bucs.
I don't know what was going on with their Bucs defense. They were not looking like the Bucs defense that's been on all year, all season.
Do you think Antonio Brown hurts their offense? Like he hasn't
He's a
played
distraction. To me, he's a cancer.
Yeah.
That he's gonna, unless he actually gets his act together, which is very doubtful. I don't see really the point of picking him up.
Yeah, and he was living in Tom Brady's house too, which is another weird.
Wasn't Tom Brady was living in somebody else's house when he first transferred over?
Maybe before he moved his family there.
It was a baseball player.
Well, it's Derek Jeter's house.
Is it?
He bought Derek Jeter's house. Yeah. But overall, do you feel okay about Cam Newton?
Yeah, it's a build year.
Yeah.
It's a build year. They got to get used to the option. Like Baltimore's killing defenses with that. But they also have, two top contender quarterbacks and a top contender running back that can kind of throw the ball too. So it's like you have three weapons in the backfield. Do you barely even need the side?
Yeah, we'll have to see how the rest of the season goes. But Steelers are undefeated. Do you think they're for real?
Oh, yeah. They've always been a decent team.
Yeah.
They've always made it close or in the playoffs or even close to the playoffs. They never had a terrible season. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll be. I don't know where they'll end up in the end of it.
I don't know. Let's see who has better defense because the defense wins championships in my eyes.
That's true. I mean, because right now, I've said this before. I think the Seahawks are a contender.
Yeah, but they barely beat the Patriots
in week 2, though.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that we have to discuss about the Patriots is that they are like a few plays away from not being 3-5.
Yeah, but if you look at all the scores and everything, they're not blowouts.
Yeah, they're like 2 plays away from being 5-3 instead of 3-5.
Yeah, they're not blowouts. It's close games. It's just
except for San Francisco, that was the only. Yeah.
Are we really even upset about that? It's Jimmy G.
It's true. Was that Cam? That was Cam's second game back.
Yeah, first game back.
He was there for the Broncos and they lost.
Was that his first game?
Yeah, because the game got delayed by a week because they both had a bye, which the NFL got really lucky on that.
Yeah.
They should have won the Broncos. Could have beat the Seahawks. That's 2 right there.
Yep.
He doesn't fumble against the Bills. That's another win.
And Bills are rolling.
Yeah.
Bills are rolling.
The Bills Mafia, which is the funniest part about it, is they probably have everything they want and they can't go to the games anymore.
Yep. Finally, years and years and years.
You can't put anybody through a table outside of New Era Stadium or anything like that.
Just got to do it at home.
Yeah.
David.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
I guarantee they are.
I've been to that stadium twice and they are drunk before 8 a.m.
That's amazing.
And what happens is, too, you get cheap tickets because most of them are too drunk to get into the games. So I think one year $20 tickets. You could never do that at Gillette.
No way.
No
way. But now you're making me want to go to
It is fun.
Game.
It is fun. It's and they're all crazy.
It's before Tom Brady went over to Tampa Bay, you could buy 2 plane tickets 2 game tickets in a hotel room for a night for the price of just 2 tickets for the Tampa Patriots game.
Oh, I believe it.
It's insane.
I believe it.
It's insane.
And here's one thing about maybe the team not doing so well. We'll be able to go to games at a reasonable price.
I've never been to one.
Oh, really?
I've never been to a Pats game. I've been to Celtics, been to Bruins, been to Red Sox. I've never been to a Patriots game.
It's fun.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is a great time. But I will say, sometimes what I hate about Patriot fans is they're so used to winning that when things start going wrong, they can be so negative. It's like, try being a Cleveland Browns fan.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Do you have a prediction for the Super Bowl?
No, because this has been the most up and down season in the whole entire NFL that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Watching football. Like, teams that are, you would never suspect to be amazing are doing good. And then teams are like, oh, they're going to roll right through again. And they're flopping. Yeah. It's everything. It's a toss-up. It really is. Anything could happen.
It's been a weird season because this whole, everything with COVID has kind of made it strange.
Even before COVID, like, it's just the transition. It's a transition year, I feel, because like every year for the last 20 years, be like, oh, Patriots are going in the playoffs, guaranteed. Yeah. Even when we had Castle as our quarterback, we made it.
No, we just missed.
Well, we still had a winning season.
11-5, which we've won 2 Super Bowls with that record. In 2008, that was not enough to get to the playoffs, which was crazy.
Nuts. But now it's like, who's that dominant team this year? Yeah. This is the start.
Which kind of, bringing up Matt Castle, I want to ask this question because you see a lot of people jumping on, finally, it's like, we got Belichick. We can really rip him a new one because they're losing. Like your Rex Ryans and stuff like that.
He's the smartest coach in the NFL.
But he had all these opt-outs, and the team is struggling. But people forget that he still had 11-5 record with Matt Castle in 2008. I get there was a better team there, but everybody wants to say it's all been Brady now. It's like, you can't judge that off of one season.
No. He learned from a great coach, and he took what he learned and he made it better. Yeah. And it's a coach. Like, you could put any quarterback in our Patriots team, and they're gonna do decent.
Maybe not Brian Hoyer.
Once they get, he almost beat Kansas City.
Well, Stidham had to come in. I mean, Hoyer looked horrible.
I know, but still, he held it. He held his own against Kansas City.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, and people might not agree, but I think if Cam never gets COVID, I wonder if things would have been different.
Oh, if he didn't get COVID?
If he never got it and he played that Chiefs game.
Oh, it would have been totally different.
I think he had the momentum. Yep. He looked, they beat the Raiders, beat the Chiefs. We beat the Raiders. Yep.
Like I said, it's a flip-flop year this year.
Yeah, it is. We'll see what happens in the coming months. I'm excited.
I am too. I mean, a lot of people are like against football and this watching football, this and that, because it's getting crazy and what the whole COVID thing. And I'm just like, I just enjoy football. I love football.
I'll tell you this. The people getting negative, too, about the Patriots, I go, listen, in March and April, when I thought maybe there wasn't going to be an NFL season, I'm so thankful that I get to watch. Even if the Patriots lose, I'm so thankful I get to watch them each week. I get to watch
football.
Exactly. Do you have any favorite sports moments? I mean, we've had quite a few in this area.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say that Edelman freak catch against Atlanta.
I have that framed in my room.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. You got the Brewski throwing the snow up in the end zone. That's forever a trademark thing. And I mean, just football. Those other sports, just other great moments. Yeah. I watch a lot of UFC, so seeing Matt Hughes just dominating any Matt Hughes fight, I love. So,
do you have a favorite title that we've won in New England here out of all the sports teams? Do you have a favorite one?
Probably it's going to be the Patriots. No, Red Sox.
04?
Beating the curse.
Oh, yeah. And you know what the best thing about that was? I don't even know. The World Series was like the payoff, but finally beating the Yankees was like
just icing on that glorious cake.
Yeah, because I never thought it would happen as a kid.
No.
Never thought we'd get past them.
Nope.
All right, it's going to take us into pop culture. Now, here's a topic that I really want to talk to you about because you're a big wrestling fan like me. But we were 23 years ago, what was it, on Tuesday, I believe, that the Montreal Screwjob happened. For anybody that doesn't know, that's where Bret Hart thought the finish was going to be different. They changed it on him in Montreal. He didn't want to lose Shawn Michaels in Canada.
For the title.
For the title. And he was on his way to WCW. Give me your thoughts on when I know we were kids and we were a lot younger, but like any thoughts of when that first happened? Like what?
I vaguely remember that happening when I was a kid and watching it. I know I did, but as a kid I don't remember much of it watching it. But being a wrestling fan throughout my years and getting involved in it myself, obviously I've watched it over and over again. And I've also seen the behind-the-scenes stuff.
This Wrestling with Shadows, remember that?
Yeah. And just sometimes the big wigs of WWE or F, whatever you grew up with, don't make the greatest decisions.
Yeah.
And that's what it boils down to.
What do you think, first question, whose fault do you think it was?
Vince McMahon's.
Okay. I like how you went, because a lot of people say it was all Bret.
No, he was on a roll, and then, he was on his way out, and he should have had that glorious, go out on top, whatever, and then just pass down the torch to the next up-and-comer, which kind of happened, but it just got Shawn Michaels the push, but to that heel side of it, which he loved.
Yeah, and I mean, so Bret's point of view at that point. Now, I've seen people say wrestling is what it is. It's. I know you've had some pro wrestling matches in your day.
Yes.
It's predetermined, and that.
Bret, it's predetermined, but still doesn't mean you can't get hurt.
No, not just that, but like Bret, you're losing, but you're not really losing. And Bret has said, if you remember when Shawn Michaels implied live on Raw that Bret was having an affair with Sonny.
Yep.
And then Bret just said, I guess he told Shawn, I'm going to put you over. And then Shawn goes, that's great. I would never do that for you. And that's when Bret Hart said, I'm not doing this. Even though I'm leaving, I'm not. He said, I'll lose to him anywhere, but didn't want to lose to him in Canada.
Yeah.
Which is kind of wild. I think you're right, though. I think Vince should have just told Bret either you do this or you don't, and I'm not paying you. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I've been fan for a long time, but I started even wean out my viewing on WWE because it's just the same old over and over and over. And then I started watching indie stuff. That got my attention way more than WWE did, just because it's too repetitive.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, NXT has been always very enjoyable.
It's good. I'm happy that they brought back the Cruiserweight title, which is amazing, because I was always a smaller side, so therefore Cruiserweight was my go-to watching. That's why I loved ECW, WCW, because they had some of the nastiest Cruiserweights.
Yeah, no, that a lot of that's good. Now, you hit a shooting star press in a match before. What's going through your head when you did that? Honestly, I've always been curious about that.
So it was my thing. I was practicing it, and it was a finisher I've always wanted to do because I was a big fan of RVD.
Yeah.
Billy Kid.
Yeah, Billy Kidman. He botched it quite a few times.
Yeah. It's but even Brock Lesnar's hit a shooting star press, and that's scary to think of. 300-pound man doing a shooting star press. But I was just in the moment, and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to go for it. And I went for it. Didn't succeed at it. I landed it, hit the move, but didn't take the match. But it is what it is. I had a great time. It was a fun match.
So I've jumped off the top rope one time at the New England Pro Wrestling Academy. Went down there for a day.
Yep.
And it's you got to have balance to get up on those ropes.
Yeah.
It is not easy.
And you got to have almost little to no fear, because if you're even questioning if you can do it or not, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
I can imagine, but no, I remember seeing that, and I've always wanted to ask you that question because I was like, wow, he hit a shooting star. That's you have to be an athlete.
And honestly, it could also not even just being an athlete, but you also have to have the proper ring Because you could have someone not tighten those ropes up the right way, and you go hit that move, and it might not have as much spring in it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I thoroughly practice like running into a pool.
Yeah.
Just trying to get it flat ground, just so that way I know, like, even if I just get a little push off, I can do it.
Yeah, yeah. That was really cool. I remember you showed me that video. I was like, wow, I can't believe you did that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
One last question just on the Montreal Screwjob. Why do you think Bret Hart didn't have any success in WCW? Was it him or was it the creative?
Honestly, I think it's because Hulk Hogan was stealing the limelight. You had Hulk Hogan in there, and just he was the powerhouse. Got smaller when he was there, but you had all kinds of big names in there. NWO was big, so it's like he got a couple, good matches here and there, but he wasn't the top guy there. Yeah. He went into a different yard, and there's bigger dogs.
And with creative control.
Yeah.
I do agree with Vince Russo, because Vince Russo came in at the end of '99, restarted NWO 2000. Remember they did like the silver and black?
Yeah.
And they were running it for a little bit, and I was actually interested. I remember people buying those shirts, and then Bret got kicked in the head by Goldberg, and that was it. And if he doesn't get hurt, I wonder if things kind of would have turned around for him there.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
But Goldberg is also one of those big dogs. He was getting a huge push. He was on his record. So, like...
I can't remember who won that match. Bret might have actually won that match against him.
Was it after the record was broken?
I think it was the record was broken a year before. So that was Starrcade 99 is when Bret got kicked in the head.
All right.
So then he gets hurt. And then they fired Russo. I mean, they ended up bringing him back, but at that point they fired him. And then he came back, I don't know if you remember, in like April of 2000, right before Spring Stampede. And the first thing he did was strip everybody of the titles. Because you're the creative guy. We've invested in these guys with these. You don't just strip titles like that. Yeah. It was such a bad... we could do a whole episode on Vince Russo. Maybe that's something down the
Be a little side topic of wrestling talk.
Now tomorrow is Friday the 13th. We got Jason obviously on the table. One of my favorite franchises. Obviously,
I would say I'm more of a Jason fan than a Freddy and Myers fan.
Okay, see, I'm a Halloween all the way.
Yeah,
but I do like the Jasons.
I do like. I
like Freddy too. Do you have a favorite Friday the 13th movie?
Honestly, Freddy vs. Jason was probably my favorite, just because, it was a little overkill with the whole concept of it, but the soundtrack was amazing.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved that soundtrack for that movie. But it was fun to me. Like, I was more laughing at it than anything. So,
well, because Freddy kind of, as the movies go on, he becomes like more of a funny character.
He is just he kind of reminds me, if you like follow Nordic mythology, Loki, the trickster.
Yeah.
That's slowly what it became. He went from just being a nightmare to like almost a trickster. Comedic, but also evil.
Well, as the movies went on, though, I will say, because I love the first Freddy. I like the second one. Dream Warriors, amazing. Probably that would be the best one, I thought. Mm-hmm. But then they start getting like very like... Freddy becomes too much of a joke at some of the other ones. Like 4 and 5, you're like, come on. That's not who he is.
No, it was... Like I said, he's became more of a trickster, but I kind of liked it. I like the joking vibe and pranking and whatnot.
Well, I really did like Freddy vs. Jason too. My favorite's probably the second, before Jason has even the hockey mask. Because in the first movie, his mom is the killer. Yeah. And then there's like this, there's the story of Jason, these camp counselors, but no one believes it's actually real. He has like a bag on. It's the second one, to me, that's my favorite one of the series. But the craziest thing when you bring up Freddy vs. Jason was when when Jason Goes to Hell, I believe it was called, at the end of that movie, Freddy comes up and takes the Jason mask to hell.
I thought Freddy vs. Jason, the end was...
Well, no, this was...
coming out of the water.
It was, but what happened, so when Jason Goes to Hell, that's when they first introduced that movie was even going to happen.
Oh, okay. All right,
so Freddy drags the mask to hell. and then they don't do anything for 10 years. I think it took about 10 years before.
Was it Jason X came out before Freddy vs. Jason?
In 2001.
Awful.
So bad.
Awful. He went to space and this and that. But the one thing I always laugh at is when he had the two girls in the sleeping bag and he was beating them against the chair. Yeah. I died laughing every single time that plays.
I really like Freddy vs. Jason too. It's just I think a lot of the horror fans, they made them wait so long for that movie. Yeah. You know. All right. Well, do you have a top 5 favorite movies?
Like horror movies, or we're talking
just
about
any movies? The top 5 you go to.
My number 1 go-to movie, Good Will Hunting.
All right.
I love that movie.
Yep.
Absolutely love that movie. I do like The Town. That's another good one.
Town's great.
So far, and everybody's just like, "Oh, you Boston-based movies." I'm like,
You like what you like. You know?
You're not wrong, but let's see. I always like The Replacements because that's just a good, fun movie. I love. What did I just watch the other day? It was an awesome movie. I can't remember it now. Oh, I just went through the Unbreakable, Split.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I was going to ask you about that. What'd you think of the whole series?
Amazing, absolutely amazing. Just the movie Split alone, and what's his name doing? I can't remember. I always forget his name.
Oh, the actor?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I know who. I just can't think of it right now.
There's the fact that he was able to just do 24 different personalities in one. I'm like, this is amazing.
That movie I saw right before the Patriots, I think, played the Falcons in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I went to, and I was so impressed. What's his name? Is it James something? I can't think of it.
McAvoy?
Is it? No. Maybe. Someone, when you watch this episode, feel free to Google it. Maybe it is James.
Correct us, please.
Yeah, please do that.
I just had this discussion last night after a football game, too, and I still can't remember his name.
He was awesome.
Loved it. Yeah. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And, like, I remember when Monday saw it, he's just like, oh, it's all right.
Of course, that's what Mike
I'm like, say. But Mike, do you realize that it's tied into this movie? He's just like, oh.
Because if you didn't see Unbreakable, you would never understand.
You would never understand.
You know. So. I do have to say, I don't hate the movie Glass, but I thought it was a disappointment. I felt like it was rushed.
I don't think it's rushed, but it's definitely, it leads you to, it's going to be more.
You think they'll do another one?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, M. Night Shyamalan, that was like his comeback. Split was like his comeback.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, because the last good thing I think he did was Signs.
Yeah.
I did.
That's a great movie, too.
I did enjoy that movie.
I love when they figure out that, the water is what works.
Yep.
Sorry, spoiler alert. I guess we spoil a lot of movies here. Yeah, watch at your own risk.
Oopsie.
Do you have a top 5 favorite albums?
I'm going to have to say Pantera, Vulgar Display of Power, just because just that song Walk just always gets me fired up. And that was my go-to pre-match song right before I go out on the mat. So.
Yeah, and RVD's song, too.
RVD,
and ECW.
And ECW, yep. But that was my pre-match in high school wrestling, and I did fairly decent, so
yeah,
I'd say it might have helped. I've been liking a lot of country lately, like Hardy. Been listening to a lot of Hardy lately. But yeah, I mean, you go on my phone and you see my music selection.
It's all over the place.
All over the place.
Yeah,
all over the place. You got metal to country to rap to folk. It's everywhere. I have a metal band that's all Ned Flanders based.
Wait,
they're like called Oakley Dokley.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And are the songs about him?
Yes.
Or? Oh, wow.
It's quite comical.
Do you have an all-time favorite band then? Like if you had to pick Pantera
or Hatebreed.
Hatebreed,
just because it brings back just a lot of wrestling memories, football memories, just sport moments.
No, understandable. My favorite band always will be Sublime. That was like the first band I ever.
I saw Badfish once.
Oh yeah,
it was a good time.
Oh, we went. Did we all go together? It was like me, you, Lamonde.
No, we were just up in Hampton. We didn't see a concert.
Oh, we went with Mike. I don't know if you. Yeah, that's when Mike got thrown down the stairs.
We didn't go to a concert though.
Yeah, we did.
We went to a concert.
Yeah, I think those 2 separate nights because we were up there.
I was only up one night.
All right, maybe that was
the night before.
Okay,
I got there.
Because we definitely went to Badfish because I've been a few times. But we went that year, and then obviously when we went to the bar, Lamonde calling that guy a mechanic.
Yeah, I got slapped in the face.
Yeah. And we all got out there with no injuries,
surprisingly, or arrests.
Though it could have gone a different way, but we got out of there. But that was. I think they sold that, or maybe I don't know if he still has that house. I'm not sure.
Not
maybe
sure.
That.
I think his mom was still up keeping it last year.
All right, so maybe I'm thinking of something else, but that was a good time. Up there.
I know they're selling the house right by Holman.
Oh, really?
His grandfather's house, yeah.
Okay. Maybe with somebody else. But all right, it's gonna take us into blank versus blank, which is my favorite part of the show. I'm gonna give you 2 words, 2 people, 2 things. You got to pick one, but you got to defend why.
Okay.
The first one is two guys that are probably 2 of the best pro wrestlers in the world. Finn Balor or AJ Styles.
Finn Balor.
Wow. Didn't even blink on that.
Finn Balor.
Now why do you take Finn Balor?
AJ Styles, he was a great athlete, great performer and everything like that, but he's predictable. Like I said, he got into the whole, like I like AJ Styles' younger years, Ring of Honor years. WWE AJ's like, and then Impact AJ was even worse.
Oh, I see. I loved Impact.
I'm very, very picky when it comes to pro wrestling, just because I've been watching it and I've seen every aspect of it, from the training to the top notch, and I even dabbled in it myself.
Yeah.
And I like the undercard stuff, like the Ring of Honor, the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, stuff like that. And Finn Balor is just a phenomenal performer.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, because you did when you were in Maine, right? Was that
Maine, Rhode Island, Mass? Did
you know Mark Godfrey? He was he wrestled in Nashua, but he did some pro wrestling in Maine.
Maybe.
Yeah, I wrestled with. He recently passed away, but he was wrestling in Maine.
You know, one person that I wrestled against and with was JT Dunn.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. JT Dunn's phenomenal.
I actually beat him in a match.
Really?
Once, way back when we both first started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because JT, I think he's like 29, 30 years old at this point. Yeah. So you got to, not too many.
A year or 2 older than I am.
He's really come around.
Oh, yeah. The fact that he partnered up with Chris Hero, and I'm like, dude, I used to watch Chris Hero all the time on TV, and now you're his tag team partner, and I'm like, this is amazing.
Well, a lot of the wrestlers say that he was very difficult in his younger years, but he's really not that guy anymore. I'll say at the times I've met him, he couldn't have been more nice and more friendly.
Dunn?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was a complete goofball, and then I bowed out of it, so I didn't really get to see him that much, and then the next thing I know, he's blowing up. And
Death by Elbow is one of the coolest finishers in wrestling. So I'm a big JT Dunn fan.
Yeah.
You got anything else to add on that, or I'm sorry?
On what?
That point, or next one. This is gonna be a little controversial because people don't like this name to be said, but I know you're a big fan of him, and I was a big fan of him. Obviously, not the way things ended for him. But Eddie Guerrero or Chris Benoit?
Ooh. Is he going for talent for talent?
One goes away.
Going for talent for talent,
Yeah.
I'm going Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
Talent for talent, Chris Benoit. Yeah, granted, outside of wrestling, what happened and everything like that, both gone too soon and tragic and evil things were happened. But if you went talent for talent, Chris Benoit.
They were both so just phenomenal.
They're best friends, and that's why they got better. They were friends, and then they wrestled each other in feuds, and that just, when you have that chemical and just, I don't even know how to say it. It's like you're almost the same person. Yeah. So therefore, you know what's going to happen. You just feed off each other. You don't even have to pre-plan anything. You just go in there and you just go with what you feel because you could sense it.
They just were like, because I remember watching, so, back in the day, I didn't know about Japan. I didn't know about ECW, but I used to watch WCW Saturday night every Saturday. And there was a match in '95, and it was Guerrero versus Benoit. Never heard of either one of them. And they had this match that was like, I was like, what am I watching right now? Like, because if you were on a WCW Saturday Night, it was like, the main events were even slow, but like it was mostly squash matches.
Yep.
And then I'm watching this one going like, who's going to win? Because that's before false finishes took over. That's a lot of what AEW is, false finishes. But yeah, they were phenomenal. That's a hard one for me.
You really...
I'd probably take Guerrero because I stopped watching wrestling for a little bit. Not a full year, but a little bit, because I've been pretty diehard. And when I found out Eddie Guerrero was in the main event against Brock Lesnar at No Way, that pulled me back in. Because I was like, wait, Eddie's finally in the main event? And then when he won, I was just like, oh my God.
The match before that was Chris Benoit winning.
Well, Benoit won at Mania, and Guerrero defended at Mania. And then they celebrated the finish of WrestleMania 20.
Yeah.
Which was awesome when Benoit won it too. Like, I was just sucked back in because I'd followed these guys for so long. It was like finally they're at the top of their game. I'd say that.
Sorry to go side subject again, but like that's where I'm at with like Sami Zayn. I love Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
I watched him all the way through, and he finally gets to the big time. The most he gets is a tag or a U.S. title. It's like, dude, that guy's some of the best talent you have in that roster, and you're just...
He's so good as like a bad guy. He's so funny.
I know. He's a perfect, amazing entertainer, and he can sell better than most.
And I do like him as the Intercontinental Champion right now, and that he left because he went away during.
I know
COVID.
there was injury and all that other stuff too.
I think he was one of the guys like. Maybe it was an injury. I think it was he might have been stuck in Canada or something. Because a bunch of like Roman Reigns decided to walk away when COVID first came out because he's got pre-existing conditions. But John Cena or Randy Orton?
Randy Orton.
Yeah, I love Randy Orton. I don't even care what
better talent.
Yeah,
John Cena's just a musclehead that could do a couple slams here and there.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I commend him for what he does with Make-A-Wish and all the kids and everything like that. Like, awesome. You're a good guy face for the company, but his wrestling talent is not really the best.
I will admit though, now that he's not on all the time, I kind of miss having John Cena on. Yeah. I was like, it's one of those things where when he was dominating for so long, you're like, God, I can't stand watching this guy anymore. But now that he's gone, I'm like, oh, I get it. I guess,
Yeah, I'm very biased, too, because, like, I see skill-wise.
Yeah.
And I'm, like, sick of the big shows, the big guys that just know how to slam. And, like, Undertaker, I've wanted him gone for years.
Yeah. Well, I think there was a tribute to him today online. They're all dressed up as all the wrestlers.
Yeah, but watch, he'll make an appearance again.
I think, I think he's doing something at SummerSlam, Survivor Series.
I remember going to that WrestleMania thing at your house, and everybody was just like, voted Undertaker winning, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, I think it was just you and Fuentes.
Yes.
And like Fuentes, like I told you, I go, yeah, you predicted the streak was going to end, Dan. I was like, that was a good time.
Yeah.
Do you like coaching or playing better sports?
Football, playing. Wrestling, coaching, because I can't move like I used to.
No.
And I know what I used to be able to do, and I'm like, no.
That ain't happening.
No. But I never really played football growing up, so now I'm playing football, and I'm enjoying every single second of it.
Yeah, I could see you as a good football player, for sure. Flag football or regular, because you do both?
I have more fun with flag just because it's just it's like backyard football. You're having a good time.
Yeah.
Not too crazy. I do love the full contact because it's full contact. It's fun.
Yeah.
But I'm also not so young and spry anymore, so their full contact is still cautious, and I got to watch what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Where flag, I'm just having fun,
having a good time.
Yeah.
No, I get it. We're not spring chickens anymore.
No.
In the end, World Championship Wrestling or Extreme Championship Wrestling?
Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where Stone Cold got to start.
Well, he started in WCW, but that's where he became
Stone he Cold, not Stunning Steve.
Yeah. Man, he was bitter when he was there.
Yeah.
You know, Monday Night Geritol, I think is what he would call
but like, I've loved ECW because they're the first ones to get real crazy with it, with like the tables, the chairs, and all that stuff. It was just, they were that odd factor between the two big.
Yeah.
And they brought themselves to that level until they got bought out.
Essentially what Heyman did was pretty unbelievable because they were a regional promotion. Mm-hmm. To go from a regional promotion to getting onto a national network is crazy and something we probably never see again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, AEW's...
Well, AEW's got money.
Yeah.
They got the Khan family. They got more money than God. You know what I mean? Like, more responsible. Oh, okay, go ahead.
That was it. But they started off with just online stuff, and then.
Well, Cody, someone said that he couldn't do it, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to do all in." Yeah, so
that's pretty cool.
All right, last one in blank versus blank. This is the toughest question of all. Blank versus blank. 2 former guests of this show, Mike LeMonde or Bobby Bollier.
I gotta go Mike. Only because I'm close with both of them.
Yeah.
Like we had our group in wrestling, like the 3 of us, and then occasionally either Jared would come with us or Mikey Miller. But like the 3 of us were very, very close our junior and senior years.
Yeah.
And we hung out after every meet. We would go to the garden, get a sandwich. I'm pretty sure you turned us on to that tradition.
Yeah.
And then at the tournaments, everything like that, we'd just always hang out at tournaments during, like, it was just it was us 3. But after high school, Mike went to the service.
Yep.
Bobby and me, we both just went, like, he went to college, I went to work.
Yeah.
So like we all kind of grew apart, but we all still keep in close touch. And I remember still just going out to the bars with you, Bobby, Mike, and it was just always a good time. But me and Mike developed a real close relationship.
Yeah, I know you guys are close.
Over the years.
Well, we definitely should do some kind of wrestling reunion at some point.
Facts.
We've done it before. It's been years, but I know a lot of different people have moved back into the area.
Yeah,
but,
like Rathke and all that stuff. Everybody's just like closer down. Like, whoa, pretty sweet.
Well, that's all the time that we have today. Scott, I really appreciate you coming on.
Hey, I appreciate it.
I'll do this again sometime. But everybody, continue to keep your heads up, wear your masks, do what you got to do. But until next week, let freedom ring.